Today's read, The Cat from Hell by Stephen King. Halston thought the old man in the wheelchair looked sick, terrified, and ready to die. He had experience in seeing such things. Death was Halston's business. He had brought it to 18 men and 6 women in his career as an independent hitter. He knew the death look. The house, mansion, actually was cold and quiet. The only sounds were the low snap of the fire on the big stone hearth and the low whine of November wind outside. "I want you to make a kill," the old man said. His voice was high, peevish. "I understand that is what you do." "Who did you talk to?" Halston asked. "With a man named Saul." "He says you know him?" Halston nodded. If Saul was the go-between, it was all right. And if there was a bug in the room, anything the old man, Drogan, said was entrapment. "What do you want hit?" Drogan pressed a button on his console built into the arm of his wheelchair, and it buzzed forward. Close up. Halston could smell the yellow odors of fear, age, and urine, all mixed. That disgusted him, but he made no sign. His face was still smooth. "Your victim is right behind you," Drogan said softly. Halston moved quickly. His reflexes were his life, and they were always set on a filed pen. He was off the couch, falling to one knee, turning, hand inside his specially tailored sports coat, gripping the handle of the short-barreled .45 hybrid that hung below his armpit in a spring-loaded holster that laid in the palm of his hand at a touch. A moment later, it was out and pointed at a cat. For a moment, Halston and the cat stared at each other. It was a moment for Halston, who didn't have any imagination and didn't believe in superstition. For that one moment, as he knelt on the floor with the gun pointed, he felt that he knew this cat, although he never seen one with such unusual markings. He surely would have remembered. Its face was even split, half black, half white. The dividing line ran from the top of his flat skull and down its nose to its mouth. Straight arrow. Its eyes were huge in the gloom, and caught in each nearly circular black pupil was a prism of firelight, like a sullen coal of hate, and that echoed back to Halston. "We know each other, you and I." Then it passed. He put the gun away and stood up. "I ought to kill you for that, old man. I don't take jokes. And I don't make them," Drogan said. "Sit down. Look in here." He had taken a fat envelope out from beneath the blanket that covered his legs. Halston sat. The cat, which had been crouched on the back of the sofa, jumped lightly down into his lap. It looked up at Halston for a moment with those huge dark eyes, the pupils surrounded by thin green gold rings, and then it settled down and began to purr. Halston looked at Drogan questioningly. "He's very friendly," Drogan said. "At first. Nice friendly pussy has killed 3 people in this household. That leaves only me. I am old, I am sick, but I prefer to die in my own time. I can't believe this, Halston said. You hired me to hit a cat. Look in the envelope, please. Halston did. It was filled with hundreds and fifties, all of them old. How much is it? $6,000. There will be another 6 when you bring me proof that the cat is dead. Mr. Saul said $12,000 was your usual fee. Halston nodded, and his hands automatically stroking the cat in his lap. It was asleep, still purring. Halston liked cats. They were the only animals he did like. As a matter of fact, they got along on their own. God, if there was one, had made them into perfect killing machines. Cats were the hitters of the animal of the world, and Halston gave them his respect. I need not explain anything, but I will, Drogon said. Forewarned is forearmed, they say, and I would not want you to go into this lightly, and I seem to need to justify myself. So you'll not think I'm insane. Halston nodded again. He already decided to make this peculiar hit, and no further talk was needed. But if Drogon wanted to talk, he will listen. First of all, you know who I am, where the money comes from. Drogon Pharmaceuticals. Yes, one of the biggest drug companies in the world. And the cornerstone of our financial success has been this. From the pocket of his robe, he handed Halston a small, unmarked vial of pills. Tridormal, compound G, prescribed almost exclusively for the terminally ill. It's extremely habit-forming, you see. It's a combination painkiller, tranquilizer, and a mild hallucinogen. It is remarkable in helping the terminal ill face their conditions and adjust to them. Do you take it? Halston asked. Drogon ignored the question. It is widely prescribed throughout the world. It's a synthetic was developed in the 50s at our New Jersey labs. Our testing was confined almost solely to cats because of the unique quality of the feline nervous system. How many did you wipe out? Drogon stiffened. This is an unfair way to put it, Halston shrugged. In the 4-year testing period, which led to the FDA approval of the Tridormal G, about 15,000 cats expired. Halston whistled. About 4,000 cats a year. And now you think he's one. And now you think this one's back to get you, huh? I don't feel guilty in the slightest, Drogon said. But that note was back again. That high, peevish note. 15,000 test animals died. So that's hundreds of thousands of human beings. Never mind that, Halston said. Justifications bored him. That cat came here 7 months ago. I never liked cats. Nasty, diseased animals, always in the fields, crawling around in barns, picking up God knows what germs in the fur. Also, trying to bring something with its insides falling out into the house for you to look at. It was my sister who wanted to take it in. She found out, she paid. He looked at the cat sleeping on Halston's lap with dead hate. You said the cat killed 3 people? Drogon began to speak. That cat dozed and purred on Halston's lap under the soft, scratchy strokes of Halston's strong and expert killing fingers. Occasionally, a pine knot would explode on the hearth, making it tense, like a series of steel springs covered with hide and muscle. Outside, the wind whined around the big stone house far out in the Connecticut countryside. There was winter in that wind throat. The old man's voice droned on and on. 7 months ago, there had been 4 of them here. Drogon, his sister, Amanda, who at 74 was 2 years Drogon's elder, her lifelong friend, Carolyn, who was badly afflicted with emphysema, and Dick Gage, a hired man who had been with the Drogon family for 20 years. Gage, who was past 60 himself, drove the big Lincoln Mark IV. Cooked, served the evening sherry. A day maid came in. The 4 of them had lived this way for nearly 2 years. A dull collection of old people and a family retainer. Their only pleasures were the Hollywood squares and waiting to see who will outlive whom. Then the cat had come. If you would like to hear more, let me know in the comment section and I will give you the next steps of the story. Thanks for listening.